Hello and welcome into the Sorare Data Show. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare, joined today by Harry Trades to talk about some post-game week scouting, I guess. You wanted to call this scouting.
Yeah, I wanted the triple S, and you delivered, to be fair, on the thumbnail, so I appreciate that.
There wasn't much to it.
Just the alliteration. And
that's all it is. But no, yeah. The point of the show basically is like things that Harry and I look at after the game week. I feel like a lot of people, this isn't like a rabbit hunting thing, although there will be some of that, I promise. But just kind of like the things that we look at after each game week, because I do feel like the way that Sorare makes us go from game week to game week to game week, you don't really ever think you have a chance to like look back. And so we're going to do that, particularly after weekends. So thanks everyone for coming in. Anyan, Malky, and Austin on the podium. Congratulations, you three. Daniel Cooper, what a day. Played golf this morning, which is, I guess it's late enough for golf. Harry Trades Sorare Data Stream going to vote. Champions League, then election coverage all night. Election day here in the U.S. Mikey Basson, what's up? Stefan, Yippee Kaye, are we scouting better player or better prices? Yak, what's up? Holty, Harry Wilson season. If there's one thing I've learned, that if you want to get an excited response from Harry Trades, it's to say anything negative about it. Not even negative, not glowingly positive about Harry Wilson, and he's going to find you.
Yeah.
Shout out Sam.
I'll come and get you.
Yeah. Kick, I need that baseball content from the boys. Harry, how are you on baseball?
I'm not a big baseball guy. I actually played it as a kid, but like British baseball's a little bit different. But there's actually a weird little story in here. There's like basically there was actually a couple years ago, not before I was born, but when I was growing up, like all my family played baseball. Like I come from a big baseballing family in Cardiff, right?
Wow.
And it's a thing where there's like a Wales v England game every year. Well, there used to be until it kind of got disbanded. And I think they brought it back again. But anyway, and yeah, a lot of like my uncle, my cousins all played for like Wales. But basically, it's just like Cardiff versus Liverpool. I don't know if anyone in the chat. Yeah,
was it rounders? Or was it true baseball?
I mean, it's true baseball, but the bat is. I mean, yeah, there's three bases. The bat looks different to you guys' bat, as in like it's not rounded. It's actually more of like a cricket bat. I know that sounds crazy, but you're holding it up. It's not like down. And you bowl underarm, so it's basically like your softball, to be honest.
Okay.
But the ball is the same as yours. It's not a bigger ball. But yeah, it's basically Liverpool versus Cardiff, and it happens every year. And I used to go and watch my cousins play. Like I wasn't that good. I'd play, but I wasn't like playing for Wales, if that makes sense. But like my uncle and cousins. Yeah, big into baseball. So, but it hasn't translated. Like, it hasn't translated to the US side of things.
All right, fair enough. Mike said so. Rounders with a cricket bat. We might just all have to look this up on YouTube on our own time somewhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of history behind this. Like I don't know why it was just Cardiff and Liverpool, but like it's a thing, or was a big thing.
All right. Anyway, no baseball here. Sorry. Thanks. Let's see. Raul jumped in. Shaforkle, FPL Evolution. Appreciate you guys coming in. So, Harry, it's funny because I literally just said, like, this won't be rabbit hunting, but I was actually going to end up starting on rabbit hunting. But I wanted to see what percentage of game weeks do you go in and you, like, either get a new card for a lineup or at least think about it?
Like prior to a game week starting?
Yeah,
more often than not, definitely, yeah.
So do you go back, if you don't get the card, do you ever go back and see what they did?
No, I'm not a psycho like you.
Okay, so I did this. There were 3 cards I was basically trying to get before the deadline on Friday and didn't get any of them because I was being cheap, and that's it. So I was looking it up. One guy ended up being terrible, which unfortunately is a guy I already have a super rare of, Fernando Gorriarán. So I was going to buy him, but I was only going to buy him because I cheaped out on Juan Brunetta. I have a Juan Brunetta forward card, but his new season, I need an in-season, and they're midfielders. He had 2 decisives, 21 AA for a 91 score. So I missed out on that. And I actually said it during the show on Friday that I was looking at a Mathis to Ferner. And he did not score, but he had 37 AA. And I think my lineups would have been better with one of those guys.
I don't know why I'm trying to think like why I don't do that. Like maybe it's because I don't know, like I'm not searching for that many cards before a game week. Let's just call it like one a game week max.
Sure.
And usually I've probably bought him type of thing. Kind of. Whereas to be fair, it probably happened more this past weekend, like because of the French special, right? Like we did a bit of scouting, obviously, and there was multiple names that were mentioned, and it's always, oh well, I didn't use that guy, or I didn't buy that guy, and this guy did this. So there was definitely a bit of that. For me, it was more like I didn't utilize the cards I already have for that specific competition, which we can get into. But no, I don't have like a multitude of cards that I'm like, I would have bought all 4 of these or should have bought all 4 of these. It's never that many. So that's probably why I don't like, think back in that sense. It's more like I like thinking back and looking back, sorry, at cards of like if you go player page on Sorare data and go my players only, I like just looking through the cards I didn't utilize basically and the reasons why. That's the big one for me. That's my reverse engineering of my game week.
So you actually look at the ones you didn't use?
Yeah, so I'll go on players like I am now, all positions, all leagues or whatever, and I'm just looking at obviously the highest scoring players at the start because that's the ones that come up first. And I'm like, okay, well, why didn't I use my top scoring player was Simicast. 90. No one scored 100 in my gallery this weekend. 96.5, all AA, by the way. I'm like, why didn't I use him? And I kind of know why. Is because like it wasn't like nailed like Robbo, him, whatever, right? Like Robbo got dropped. Could have happened, did happen, whatever. My second highest, Patrick Horovsky, who plays for Genk. He's in my Genk stack. I've never used him because like he wasn't starting when I initially bought him. He's part of the collection. Last 3 games, I go, okay, he's played Cam the last 3 games, 30 AA, 1 AA, and then he just got a 93 with 2 goals. And so, there's clearly a change of position for him because prior to that, he's more of a CDM. But he's being used, a bit further forward, it seems from me just looking into this. And, it can produce these scores apparently. Like this is his highest score so far this season. And yeah, it's one of them like, can he replicate that? That's Shalawar at home in game week 29 or Kortrijk at home in game week 330. Like I've got to not make that same mistake again if he's still fit, if he's available, if he's on to play Cam again, right? That's like, the simple way for me to just go back and just hope I don't make the same mistake again, basically.
Yeah, I think the ones that get me, so I was looking at just my own, and for anyone who is looking for this, if you just go to, I don't think we have a direct link here, but just on the game week center, if you just go to players and it'll default to the current game week. But if you just go back, this is how you find like your highest scoring players from your gallery. And then you can take it off and look at all leagues. But so I was looking at this and like, we talked about Gaetan Perronnet during the French special show that we did. And I ended up not having a French special lineup because I sold 3 of the cards that I bought for it.
They all smashed.
And no, they didn't. They didn't.
Yeah, 2 did.
2?
Well, Perrin and Douay, no?
No, I kept Perrin.
Oh,
so I kept Perrin, and I have him in a lineup. I assume it didn't do anything. But Daviachvili wasn't that great. David. I feel like I spell it. I pronounce it how I spell it, and I spell it incorrectly every time. But anyway, Douay had a great game. But I'm looking here, like my highest scoring player right here is Benny Traore. I have a Benny Traore super rare.
Yeah, in the season.
No.
He is, isn't he?
No. It's last season. Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like old rules, he'd still be in season.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The Shaqiri rule.
So I played him in Contender Limited Division 4 because he'd been like iffy to start, and it was like a great matchup. But I was like, I couldn't trust him in like a higher one, and like. When was the last? So he went 4 straight games playing 65 minutes or less. And then he goes 90. And just smashes.
But like, It's tough, isn't it? Because, maybe before the game week, he's, I don't know, 50-50, let's just call it. I don't know what the actual percentage was, but he definitely wasn't nailed. And then you look at that Sorare data, he's played 60. Like, there's no games he's missed there,
Yeah.
So it's tough, isn't it? You look back and you go, well, he probably was going to play, wasn't he? Like, he might not have played 90. Obviously, you end up doing that. But, if you were to predict what happens to Benny Traore in this game, as far as like how many minutes played, you've got to think he does 60, right? Because he's just been doing that.
Yeah.
So I know
Maybe.
it's tough to say, but like that,
Yep.
yeah, that one's a tough one. That one's a real tough one.
Mike said, didn't you guys say you thought the Auxerre game was a good matchup in that preview show? So the only reason I didn't, like, my problem was that, so they were home against Rennes.
Yeah.
And Steve Mandanda was my only goalie. And like, I was looking at goalies to buy. I don't even remember who, like, did any goalies end up doing well? Bulka did, right? Your boy.
To be fair, Montpellier lost to La Havre keeper, got a clean sheet in the end. He got like a 70. So we said, like, I was kind of going back and forth with Tobe saying, like, it's not a good matchup. Obviously, Teji gets sent off and things change, right? But, like, yeah, there wasn't that many great scores outside of, Bulka.
I was going to buy Donovan Leon too, who I won previously.
You won him, I was going to say.
The only reason I didn't buy him is I think his next few games are like away to Marseille, and that's not, and then home against Angers. That's actually not that bad. But like Marseille, PSG, and Lens in the next 5 is not great. He's so cheap.
But yeah, he is. It's a tough one. I'm in the same position as you. I had a pairing that I didn't use, but he was classic. So he could have only gone in instead of Cherki, who scored okay. He scored like a 65 with just AA.
Mm-hmm.
Should have got an assist with Laka, whatever. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. But yeah, I probably would have maybe pinched a couple more pounds. I finished 40. I finished in the prizes in the end. I think I was 45th or 7th. My Toulouse boys didn't do the business. One hit the post, it said on SofaScore, but then it got removed. So I don't know the exact issue with that one, but I know they didn't score. Like my sort of telltale sign is if I've had a good game week or not. Like I can tell by this page, I can go, okay, how many of these high scores did I use? Not many, and then I go, well, it's probably because, they're not in your lineups and you're not going to score as highly. The ones like your Benny Traore, those ones are tough for me because like that situation is different than the Patrick Karofsky for me. In that he was probably on to play Patrick Karofsky for Genk, but I just didn't trust his ability to score that well.
Sure.
Because like, okay, we saw a 30 AA previously, but I hadn't seen a 90. I hadn't seen 2 goals in a game type of thing, right? So it's tough from that perspective for me. But like Rocco Reitz, he scored. This guy's just killing me. 55 AA. Have his in-season rare card. I think he was 30% on. He took a knock the game previously. So there was that doubt that he was going to play, maybe similar to your Benny Traore, but maybe way more risky because there was news he had a knock and whatever, and an error led to shot. Wow. And it's just things like that. It's just like, had I not, sometimes like, well, what's the saying? It's ignorance is bliss, right? Like sometimes you'd rather like not know these things, but ultimately we need to know them because he might not have played because he did take a knock. And it's just like, it's just an absolute killer. But I could tell from this matchups tab that, there's also mistakes I made as well. Like looking back, Calvin Verdonk, I really contemplated playing him. The NAC beat Groningen 6-0, 51 AA at home, yellow cards. He had a triple, absolutely smashed his face off. And I plays Luke Ayling, who, was at home, but they ended up getting a red card. Like, but I can't do anything about them getting a red card in the 30th minute. Like it's just, my process was probably still relatively right. It's just a toss of a coin sometimes, and you can't kick yourself too much.
Daniel saying Reitz versus Sanders has been a toss-up early in the season, but I think Reitz may have nailed it now. And the reason why he was always going to nail it is because I'm fairly certain I won a Sander card. Where is he? There he is.
There he is. Yeah, you're right, Daniel. Yeah, on the predictions, he has been like a 50-50 most game week. So that's why I have played him. Like I'll play him in like a D3. I've never played him in my D1 as of yet. Of course, it would have been the perfect week this past weekend. But yeah, you're right. It has been a bit of a coin toss. But yeah, this time for some reason, well, not for obvious reasons, he did have a knock or whatever. So that really, like I probably would have risked it had I not seen that he had a knock. Maybe not in D1, but he definitely would have played in one of my 3 lineups. So Frankie Amaya scored 90 led off the
Really?
bench. Yeah, I'm just like, this is just one of those weekends where like I've just got no chance, In 31 minutes, he scored 30 AA and got an assist. How am I going to predict that one,
2 big chances created too. Left one on the table. Left an assist on the table.
Yeah,
Did he take sets when he came on?
Good question. I didn't go into the nuts and bolts of that one specifically.
I'm gonna look. Hold on. Can you imagine?
He probably did, right? There's no way you're having him defending in the box.
Well,
no disrespect, but
let's see. Who's he play for now?
Toluca.
There he is. Where are you, Frankie? There he is. No sets.
Wow.
Don't worry.
It's quite impressive.
It is impressive. Yeah. Yeah, and he's still going to be on the bench. Josh said Galeno scored 85 points in 21 minutes.
Yeah. 2 goals or at least 2 DAs, I think it was.
Yeah, that works.
That works. Same for Madison, who's come off the bench last 2 games, got 2 DAs and.
Jeez. I also I was going to victory lap this basically, but so looking at this French special, or at least the highest scoring players from Ligue 1, like Perrin and Mason Greenwood, the only players to hit 90.
I'm actually sick and looking at that lid because I have Perrin, Bolka, and Sidibe.
So you tried to get me to buy Sidibe, and I was like, "Nah, I have Perrin. I had Doué.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. There's
Malou. I played Sidibe in Champ, but yeah, just didn't. I couldn't get 3 Toulouse players into obviously the French special.
Right.
There probably was a workaround looking back, but Jesus, yeah, that one hurts.
It just doesn't seem like you really needed to do a lot. And then when Monaco lost on Friday,
and Donnarumma not playing.
Yeah.
That was, even though there was only 11 Donnarummas in the rare one, which I thought was mental. I thought there'd be way more. So
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, there was a lot in Champ. Like he was the most used in Champ, which whatever. But couldn't believe there was only 11 or so, and he was under the 45. That's what made it even crazier to me because he could have been one of your 45s.
Right. This is still the midweek. Hold on. Oops. There's just so much data on this page that it just takes forever. Yeah, I can't tell if I feel like it was a missed opportunity for me or not.
It definitely was for me because I had 3 of the highest scoring cards. I used one of them. Like I effed it some, in a lot of places there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, won something, but not enough to really. Not that I spent much on it. I bought Sidibe probably for like a $5. I bought the other Toulouse guys for similar. Like I'm net up on it, but not by like 10, 15 quid. Like it's kind of whatever.
So on the victory lap thing, so when Cheji was suspended for Montpellier, and we were like, who's going to take set pieces? Because he takes like everything for them. And I don't know if we mentioned it on the show, like on our Ligue 1 preview, like the specialist preview, but we kind of just agreed that it was going to be Wabi Kazri. And Kazri then was basically not predicted to start. He started and like has a fairly mediocre score, as we see here. But he played 90. But digging a little more, and I told you that he took every single corner that they took. Or maybe, was it 9 out of 10 or was it 9 out of 9?
I think you said 9 out of 10, yeah.
9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 and a big chance missed. What could have been for Wabi Kazri.
I know. I, again, had an in-season one. I could have played him as well instead of Josh King. Not that it would have mattered too much, but yeah. My plan was to play 2 lineups, but I ended up bottling it because I didn't want to not use my champ, like my Kimmich and whoever else, right? Yeah. So I didn't have enough in-season keepers. But I think the next part for me, led on this page again, but not to do with my own players, is more, scouting. For me, the gold mine is going forward for positions. It's going, obviously under 23 if I want to condense it down to that, but you don't have to. And I'm just looking for guys who are just not getting DAs, but scoring massive, massive AA, basically. And that's like, if you look at the forward from this past weekend, like it's just the top anyway is filled with multiple DAs, which is understandable. Like you've got Van Cruz up there, 4 DAs, Rondon hat-trick, Marmouche, 3 DAs, Wule, 5 DAs, Jesus Christ. Fucking Bio scored 4 goals. I did not know that. Guy Perez, 4 goals, which is great. Like, most of the time your forwards are going to just need DAs to score really well. That's like a given. But it is always nice to just come
It's like we lost Harry for a second.
into that. You are then in the hundreds. And I think that's...
So, there we go. You were cutting out a little bit. I think you're all right now. Where is Christian Pinilla even play right now?
Couldn't tell you.
Like, what is that? Oh, of course, Ecuador.
That is an old picture, no? Is that a New England Revs picture?
Revs.
Wow.
He's been gone for a while. And solid scores.
Wow, yeah. So the first player that I see on the forward list that didn't have a DA, but scored highly enough, was Inaki Williams with a nearly 40 AA, with a big chance missed, by the way.
Oof. You got to scroll a while, huh?
Yeah, 74.8 he scored. There he is on the left.
Yeah.
Like, that is some score.
4 big chances created and a big chance missed. My God.
4 BCCs is huge, isn't it? You rarely see more than 2.
Who let him down?
I bet you it was his brother, because his brother absolutely stank the place out. Oh, no BCM. Okay.
Take that.
I'll take that back.
Gosh.
Oh, Sanket. 3 of them.
So there's 3. It could be anybody at this point.
Now, it's not to say that he's going to do that every game. Like, we kind of know that that's not sustainable, right? This is probably, where we touch on the topic of the video. It's like a lot of these things that we see in these games, i.e. 4 goals for maybe not Guy Perez, but, players of that around that type of scoreline on Sorare, like, it ain't sustainable for them to be scoring those type of DAs week in, week out. It's just not possible, especially like your 3s, braces and 1 goal and 1 assist. Yeah, I get it. And that is rather sustainable for a set period of time. But like, you're not going to score 2 goals every game for the whole season. It's just not possible unless you're Messi in 2016.
Yeah.
Well, or Guy Perez now, to be fair. Like, there's anomalies to this. Well, there's outliers, sorry. But ultimately, I'm sort of, scouring this list and I'm going, okay, well, who's got 1 DA and got a 90, for example? Because that means 30 day AA from somewhere, right? And those then become quite an interesting card. Did they do that against a weak team? Okay, I can see how that's happened. Have they done it against a really tough team? Wow, that's impressive, right? So like, it's all about then going, okay, well, if he's done it in a really tough game or semi-tough game, could he do it next week at home to fucking bumfuck? That's kind of where that's where this list for me becomes, well, yeah, really, really valuable.
It's crazy. There were only, what is that, 800s?
Feels like a low week,
low, right?
Yeah. Forwards, yeah, fair.
It's funny to see Firmino there.
Like Berardi, wow, that's a Quinny special. That is. Berardi started. That might be his first start for Sassuolo. Scores 94.
Wow. This is more like, this is everybody, but you can see like there are a bunch of like higher ones there. But so did you see, we sent out a graphic about the top Premier League players and like from this past game.
Yeah.
Like, who are these guys?
Right. No one scored 100, right? Is that correct?
It was Ola Aina.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's it.
Wasn't it last weekend though? Nobody scored 100. I'm sure you did the graphic.
Could be.
I remember seeing a Prem graphic and nobody had scored 100. I'm sure of it. Yeah, this looks high. Yeah, I looked at last week's as well.
Like, who are
no
these
one
guys?
Above 90 in midfield. I mean, João Gomez is a player, but plays for Brazil or whatever. But yeah, for Wolves, it's interesting. It is interesting. How many DAs? Has everyone got a DA bar, Simicas? Yeah.
Walker Peters didn't. I don't think.
Wow. Yeah.
We didn't show it at least. I will say that Hall scored 99.7. We round everyone to the closest, but like you got to get 100 if you want 100.
Liv Davis, or basically, well, he didn't, but like they conceded, and like he was on to probably score 100. And I was going to buy him this weekend, Ed, I'll be honest. Looking back now, yeah, 50 quid he was at Ray. I don't know where he is now. But I went with Alphonso Davis in the end, who's obviously a bit more expensive. But I was honestly good. Like I was very close to buying him and playing him in champ, because I really thought like nobody's going to play him in champ, really. Like I thought he'd be a bit of a differential and whatever. Yeah, so I'll take back what I said at the start. He was probably one that I didn't buy, but I ended up buying him. Alfonso scored fine, but he didn't score 93.
Yeah. It just seemed like the scores in the Prem were like all of the you have to have these guys players. You didn't need to have them this week.
I look back on the preview show though, or the deadline show I did with Quinny, just looking back now, and I think I don't recall there being a great matchup anywhere in the Prem. So, you could probably say it makes sense why there probably wasn't 100 scored, or multiple of them, and none of the big boys really did much outside of maybe Bruno. So yeah, I mean, Haaland had like 10 big chances missed or something crazy. He had like a bad week, like a stinker.
I don't know where he was. Let's see. I
think he had 3 or 4. Jesus, man. Oh, he had 2. Yeah, I'm sure he had 3 at one point. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I looked in play, but yeah, maybe not.
Daniel said the 96th minute Leicester goal killed my Ipswich clean sheet. First.
So he would have been way over 100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was the week for the smaller stacks.
Your boy.
Oh yeah, Big Tim. Stoger even got a DA off the bench as well. So he's
who did
himself? Kevin Stoger, he was like the key pass guy. He kind of came up. He got 72 in the end. Well,
the key pass guy.
He literally is the key pass guy. Yeah, another 2. But yeah, it's for me. It's just all I try not to make the same mistake twice, and I have felt guilty, or I have been guilty of doing that over the years. And it's just about, for me, learning from them. And it's easier said than done, obviously, because every game is a different situation. That's the tough thing about football. Is like, Horovsky scores 93 last week. That doesn't mean he's gonna do it. At home to Charleroi, it's different conditions. 2 weeks later, like nothing's. I know it's all comparable, but at the end of the day, none of it's comparable, because they're playing against different teams every week, apart from when they play the same team again. Reverse fixture. So yeah, it's a weird one. They smashed, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, hello. R.I.P. Neymar.
Who is it? Oh, Peter pointed out to me that Neymar before the game week was more expensive than Messi.
What? That
crazy,
feels, right? Yeah, that feels a bit. I guess he doesn't have any mints, does he? But
Neymar?
No, as in like he doesn't have any new mints.
New ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I have one.
He hasn't had any since PSG, right?
I have a limited Neymar. I was so happy when I got that card, and like
he was probably like 10 grand at the time as well.
Not for the limited, thankfully.
When he first came out, I bet you he was a couple grand. He was like, they were expensive.
The limiteds?
Yeah, I'm sure they touched a grand, didn't they?
I would believe that, yeah.
3. There we go.
88.87 for the number 1.
That is mental.
2,500. Nice job, Zanu.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then number 1 then sold later. Yeah. And now not so much. $30. It's all yours.
I mean, if you think he's gonna pull through with his Miami crib, then
So is Horovsky in form?
No, I wouldn't say in form, but I'd say he's playable. I used to own his Super A years ago. So
I was going to say, I thought you did.
He was one of my like rare pro guys because I couldn't afford like the good Super. So he was a bit of a filler for me. But
he's like the poor man's JDS,
Yeah, very poor man's.
who also smashed today, I heard.
He did, yeah.
Or
He did like
today?
55 AA, yeah, or something big. But yeah, look, I don't look at that score and go, oh my God, he has to be in my priority lineup, in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But I need to be aware of him. And I think that is like a net positive for me. Like the fact that I can just think about him in my game week, in my when I'm building lineups. Like I didn't think about him. I'll be okay. I did. I played him somewhere random, like in some, I don't know, wherever. But I definitely played him, but he wasn't in my contention of, top 3, 4, 5 mids for the weekend. And
Yeah.
I just want him to be in, just in and around it, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
But it's not rocket science. It's just like you said, because Sorare game weeks are so thick and fast. Like you don't get a chance really to look back too much. Is probably
it's really hard.
It's really tough, like super tough.
Yeah. Like, have you started making lineups for the weekend?
No, I haven't put any in, but I've looked. Yeah, I can't lie, I have looked.
Like, I feel like that's what like keeps you from, unless you're reviewing what's going on throughout the game week, like throughout the weekend. I don't do that. Like, I'll check my own scores, but I'm not really like checking up on other players until probably Monday.
Yeah, like I think we spoke about it before, but like I used to do this mid game a lot, and I still probably do. Like if I'm free on the weekends and stuff, and just on my phone, I'll just scan through every game that's live and just check. Oh well, he's got 30 AA, 25 minutes. Like I'm doing that before it's happened. Now, of course, those AA scores and can change. Like it's not like the end result because the game's not done. But like that's the thing now, Led. You don't need to do that anymore. You can be a bit lazier because the market doesn't react as fast.
It's a good point.
Like that does, you had to be on it a few years ago if you wanted to get Vinny Souza for £300 as a super rare. Like you had to do that. You don't, it's a luxury. We're in like a luxury position at this point now. Whatever, you can debate why that's like the case or whatever, but ultimately you don't really need to do that. And yeah, it means that you can do it on a a Tuesday afternoon or whenever the game week actually closes. If you do have time. So I do think there is value still in it. There really is. But like you said, the other part of that is, well, shouldn't you be spending it on looking forward? Like this is the whole L5 to N5, right? Like that's basically what we're kind of not debating, but that's kind of the where do you spend your time basically?
Yeah, I feel like the L5, and really it's like L1, like that's what we're talking about, just doing it each game week, like looking at who's there. That at least gets the names like in your mind, and then you look at what their next 5 is. Like there are a number of players where I like basically did some random scouting. Oh, they just this. Oh, they won. Oh, this guy took set pieces. Who do they have next? And like the next 5 are just awful. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to buy it now. Like it seems very silly in terms of like a short-term stuff to buy cards and wait 6 weeks to use them when I could just get them in 6 weeks. I'm sure the XP people will just throw me into the fire on that one, but like, I don't know. I forgot we had an international break coming up. That absolutely sucks.
Yeah, we have them really soon.
Yeah, it's just this weekend and then the break. Oh,
yep.
It's nice, or maybe it's not nice because then you miss out on it. But like players who never play internationally, like you don't see them, so it doesn't look like it's coming.
Yeah, no joke.
You just have to really look to see this one's 25 and this one's 29. Like, oh.
And like it's the worst with players like him because he plays 6 minutes off the bench, for Slovakia. It's just like, I don't need you doing that, Pat. Like, just stay at home.
Yeah, I was doing that with JPH because he got called last time. His like first call up in a while. 0 minutes.
And it's just derailed him from his his goal scoring antics, which probably got him the call up previous to that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, like that. That's what happens. Like you get the call up and you get complacent. You're like, well, I don't need to score anymore.
Yeah, he got called up again, and it's like, is it even worth the trip?
Well, who are they playing? Who was it? Norway,
Slovenia, and Kazakhstan. Like it's like
it's fun. Like if he plays,
yeah,
yeah.
There's nothing for making me think that he will. Ryan said you're looking at L.5 scouting players at halftime.
Yeah, 0.25 even sometimes. Like, Yeah, no, I do. I am guilty of that, and like I said, I probably got lazy with it over the years. But yeah, that was my bread and butter for a long, long time. I really enjoyed that side of it. Now I guess with the timeline thing now makes it a little bit more interesting because you can see where players have dropped off, and are they halftime players? Like I've got Connor Barron, for example, and like I always, there might not be that much data to back this up, but like he always seems to just level out after halftime. Like he'll get like 28 first half and his legs just go, and it just happens. And it's just like, you just kind of know it's going to happen. So you got to like, you can't get too excited for the second half because he'll play the 90. He
I was
just
gonna say,
won't
does
do
he play
anything.
the 90?
Yeah, he does 90 all the time. He just won't do much after that. It feels like anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the timeline is I don't want to say it's a gift and a curse, but it is like you get so excited and then you're just like, wait, why didn't it move in the second half? Mike said, doesn't Lister play impact the number of reactionary moves at the weekends now? Often you can't do just until after the next game week starts. Like people forget. Like some guy has a huge game on Saturday and by Tuesday, nobody's looking at, like nobody cares anymore.
Right.
I will say that for limited though, there's still so many cards in the market every week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't do it especially within season as well, because most people are playing their season cards and like it is tough. Like you aren't going to scoop up these gems like mid game. I did do it on the weekend though. Not that he's that much of a gem, but remember Klein Hansel, like my under 23 left back that was amazing. Like
Austria?
last season, no, Bundes 2, and he moved.
He was always there.
Yeah, he was at Osnabrück, who got relegated. They were horrendous. And he was like 100 capable. And it was like, okay, he's quite fun. Then he moved to Kaiserslautern, and he didn't play or hadn't been playing for a little while. And now he's somehow found his way into the side. And he's started to do kind of, what he was doing previously. So I picked up a limited for the Road to Glory on the weekend, like 80 pence. It was in season. I could have paid 50 pence for the old, but I was like, I'll get the in season. Not that I'm playing in season with it, but I just feel like there's more upside in the in season card if I was to sell it. But again, he was like 50. I remember because I have the rare. He wasn't nailed on to start this weekend everywhere, so I was a bit like, I can't risk him. And he obviously ended up doing pretty well. But yeah, that was a little in play. A little in play one, like you said, it's a lot easier limited.
He took set pieces.
Oh, did he really?
6 of 11.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, to be honest. I didn't go on Sofa to have a look. So yeah, that checks out. That does check out. He's a decent player.
Fun. That's fun.
Yeah, £8 in season.
I was gonna say, I was just
like £8. It's a fun
instant
league,
buys
but...
$13. So was that 10?
Wow.
9 pounds, £10.
Yeah. Classics a £5. Wow. But again, it's an L3. All he's built up is an L3, and it's...
What's the N5 here? What do we got? Nuremberg, Braunschweig, Schalke, Karlsruhe. I never know how to say that. In Darmstadt.
All the teams are the same in the Bundesliga.
I was just about to say.
They all have round emblems. They all just look the same.
I will say that other than goalies, like goalies seem to always just be awful because every game is like, feels like it's 5-4.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not sure there's really a bad matchup.
I don't think there is, no. There's always goals.
Away to Nuremberg, who are 6. Where are they? 10th?
They just scored 7. That's your boys.
Don't even get me started. Everyone but my boy.
Don't say he didn't. Oh yeah, everyone but your boy that week. He scored well this weekend though. Yeah.
Oh wait, no. I was talking about the one. Yeah, when
the 8-3.
8 goals. He has nothing.
Like look at that: 8-3, 4-0, 3-2. Okay, 1-1, but Hamburg are a decent side. It's just goals. There's lots of goals. Yeah, it's just about can he stay in the side as well.
I'm just saying, like obviously this Regensburg, they're going back down. It appears like, but like they played 11 games, and like the number of teams that are already at 20 goals.
Literally, yeah, 2/3 of the table are basically just scoring goals for fun, which is great from an outfield perspective, especially if you've got set piece takers and penalty takers. Who Lipberg plays for maybe Oh, who does he play for in that? Darmstadt? Check Darmstadt for me, lad. Isaac Littberg, his name is, I think. Darmstadt are below Cologne in 12th. Pretty sure they have. Yeah, check that Littberg guy.
I got Kai
Lidberg,
here.
sorry. Lidberg. He used to play in the Dutch league for somebody. He is just like
Utrecht, of course.
Utrecht. Yeah, was it? Yeah.
Ooh, there we
Look
go.
at this.
No AA though. Oh, there's one.
Well, 25.
One.
Works.
Has he had 25 since?
He has
7, 5, 14,
combined.
10.
No, he has not. But yeah, there's just goals to be had.
Target. Is that? Wait a minute. Is that Killian or is it a different team?
Yeah, same guy.
Oh, there he is.
Killian Corridor, yeah.
Killian Corridor from I only know that from making a double.
He was on Rodez.
Shout out to Simo.
I think shout out to Quinny. Quinny bought that Hornby, who's Scottish and actually been scoring really well, and he ended up getting injured 30 minutes in, so that's just very unlucky there. But those three have been really good. And he plays with your boy, Kai.
I know.
Ah. Yeah, Hornby's been doing pretty well. Yeah, Hornby, yeah. Oh, that was against your boy as well in goal. Jesus, you've got boys everywhere.
He has been so bad.
Yeah, last 3 or so have been horrendous. Like L3 for Nahuel Null.
Oh.
Yes.
Like 12 goals conceded in 3 games is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's absurd, isn't it, really?
2 of them at home.
And those
they've given up 9 goals in 2 home games.
It doesn't matter in Germany. It doesn't. I don't think the home away split does much in Germany. But his 2 big games there, I know there's 3, but the 2 of them like a penalty saves.
Save, yeah.
He's getting bailout penalty saves. And
has he had a clean? Oh, there's one clean sheet against the worst team in the league.
Yeah. Seems like whoever plays them just smashes that weekend, right? That seems like a little formula.
Let's see who's next. So they got the Marvins coming up too.
Oh. But I will say it is a fun league because there is a lot of under 23 players in there, which is nice. Like they give a lot of under 23 goalies a chance, and
a chance to just get slaughtered.
Yeah, and then Urbik just gets benched, and whatever. But yeah, they get active, to say the least.
Rob C said just joined, so not sure what we're talking about, but Berardi is one to have now, not in season, but he's going to smash. So smash Serie B. There were a number of people who told me that they were like, Berardi's back, so you need to get him, and he looks back.
Yeah, I mean he's way too good for
Serie B. Way too good.
He's like Stravets on steroids. Like I'm not saying they're the same player, but like as far as output goes, like I'd be shocked if he's any worse than Stravets. And Sassuolo's his team. Like it's literally like Dybala playing in Serie B for Roma or something. Like it should be cheat codey. Like obviously he hadn't been starting many games, and he started his first one, and yeah, the proof's kind of there. So yeah, could be really like they've scored 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 goals in 5 games.
He's on set pieces.
He is. Yeah, sounds about right. When you've got a left foot, like
they don't have many, but what do you have? 3 in the last game, 2 in his last start before that.
Yeah, he's a player.
Not bad.
He's not cheap though. Like $100 for a classic, but he's your name your Chinese special card for the for the in-season stuff. As far as your classic 1 card allowance goes, he has to be that.
He's what I hoped Daniele Verde would be.
Verdi. Yeah, I think Verdi likes to party too much. Well, he can still mix it though. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean he's been good.
Yeah, he has been good.
Yeah,
they haven't though. But Seppe's back in goal, Laird.
Is he? I didn't even know he left.
Yeah, he got injured for a couple of games, but he's back.
So yeah, a few people are now asking me about my set piece chart here. It's just something I put together. And by I put together, I mean Peter put it together for me. But yeah, it's just a tableau of stats that I use that I'm not sharing with anyone yet.
Secret sauce.
This is it right here. So if anybody wants to know about set pieces, I'm happy to answer, but I can't send that to you.
He won't even send it to me, so
I haven't sent it to Harry yet. It's not done. That's why it's not there yet. But it is something that I think at some point we're going to have on Sorare data, not necessarily like this, but I'm on a set piece crusade here, Harry, that I think Sorare data needs more set piece. What's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say exposure, but we need to expose set pieces more. I'll put it that way. Everything has a price. Is that data from the Sorare API? It is not. It is not data from the Sorare API. They might. No, they don't have. I don't think they have non-Sorare stats in their API.
Right. Yeah, because they wouldn't count set pieces, would they, as on the matrix technically? So yeah.
Other than thumbnails, is anything your own work? Fair question. Fair question. No is the answer. No. Anyway. Oh, now people are asking Peter how much. Oh boy. Daniel said, I emailed Sorare data about the SO5 tiers and they said it's being removed. Probably because they're an absolute mess.
What tiers?
Like on the player pages where we show like what tiers people are being rewarded in.
Got you.
Like this page. Mostly because like we used to just, it was easy.
Yeah.
And now it's like there's 17 different places. A guy could be a tier 1 in the special weekly, but a tier 3 and champ and a tier 2. And it's just, yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot, and it's also not the cleanest data to work through. So, yeah, that's why. Yeah, I would say like looking at set pieces every week is like I'm doing that after every game week. Just any good performance I see, it's just like
Diddy.
Yeah.
Not Diddy, but
no, right. Did he take set pieces? Yeah. Marcus, it is not from FBref either. Like Sorare data has a Opta contract, so it's directly from Opta. It's just like it's the stats that we have on Sorare data. It's just in a different format that is easier for me to see. But like you can see stats like team stats. If you just click on the team page and we do L5, L15, L40, and if you scroll down, you can see who's taking corners for any team. And if you really want to dive into like the random ones, you hit the stats button and you can do the same.
Issue is it just won't do you by game, will it? If that makes sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that's where, unfortunately, you'd have to go over to SofaScore.
Do they do by game? Like you can see stats by game?
No, but like I could see the heat map of somebody by game. So if I, you know what I'm saying, like the last one game, if I think he's taken set pieces, obviously I could look there. But that's the only place I could think about outside of
asking me.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm happy to provide any data that anybody wants, or I'll tell you what they are. It's just, I can't share that yet. I'm not even sure I'm allowed to share it anyway, like from our Opta contract.
Yeah, probably not.
I can do it here because it's our content. We can do with what we want with it, but I don't know. We'll see. But I do think, I think that's important. I don't know if everybody thinks it's important. Like, I think set pieces is way more important than like XG and XA. There was a conversation in the Sorare Scandinavia Discord today about XG, and I'm just like, I can't stand XG.
I've never dived too deep into it, if I'm being honest. Like, I just don't, not saying it's not relevant. I just don't, well, yeah, for what we need, I don't think it's that relevant personally.
It's like not relevant until it happens to be right. And then everyone's like, see?
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, it's been wrong forever. Now it happens to be right.
Yeah.
It's like a bad strategy. It can work, but it's usually wrong.
Right.
It usually doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you look at prices after game weeks at all anymore?
Well, I told you about the Alphonso Davies one yesterday. Actually, yeah, I did look at that one. Will I be looking
You're
at
just trying
cards?
to pat yourself on the back, though.
Yeah, maybe. Nah, I don't know. I was just shocked. I looked on the thing. I was like,
Yeah,
sort of double. And I was like, why is that? But could just be an anomaly, like you said. That big spike up the top there, close to 400.
Where are you? Was it back?
4 or 5 days ago. It's got to be one of these.
There it is.
Yeah, there I am. Yeah, but all the buy-in, like all the instant buys on the buy-in boys are nuts right now.
Yeah, what's that all about? Just
I
because
don't
they're
know. Like Upamecano's is mental. It's like 400 something. His instant buy anyway. I think there might be cheaper listings, but like Hiroki Ito was told today that he's having another operation.
Oh.
So like Dayot and Kim are basically just nailed again for the foreseeable, which is just print fest, really.
Yeah. And Graham said rumors he might be signing a new deal.
Yeah, there's been that, and maybe it's that, but no.
Jane said, not sure XG can be wrong. People just interpret data incorrectly. It's not saying there should be that many goals, just indicates quality of chances. So I don't think XG is wrong. I think people use XG incorrectly. Or most people don't even know what it means. Ooh, Zagreb in the mud.
Wow. Sam Ty in the mud.
Did Message start?
Yeah, he did. But yeah, to go back to your question, I don't think I do necessarily go back and look at prices or anything, to be honest, because I'm not actively like looking to sell. To be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I bought Alphonso Davies because I want to use Alphonso Davies. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't really care what his price is really now. To be, I just don't like. I'm not in the market of wanting to sell him. So no, I wouldn't say I do, to be honest, Laird. No, not at this stage. Maybe I did 3 years ago because I had less cards to worry about, right? This comes into like a gallery thing and like how many cards you have and how many cards you need to worry about. And no, I wouldn't say ever look at prices, honestly.
Does like that Davies jump now make you think you should sell him?
Not at all.
Wow, not at all.
It makes me think I should double down and buy Thomas.
The opposite of dollar cost average. You don't buy more at the higher price.
No, I didn't mean get another Davis. I just thought like double down in my try and build like a little buy-in collection out of like just to boost him up basically for collection bonus and stuff. No, yeah, I wouldn't think about even if someone offered me like $400 from now, I don't think I would because who am I going to buy? Leaf Davis.
You could probably buy 2 of them.
I could probably buy 3.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he was 50. Yeah.
You could buy 4 of them.
I was going to stretch it to 4, but I didn't want to be too wrong. But yeah, 65.
4 price is 65.
And the rest? Could buy 5. 360, no?
Yeah.
Or if I just done my 360.
What are you doing? Come on.
Ipswich led, come on.
No, I'm not gonna argue on that one. I mean, his like even. Oh, there's Upa.
Okay.
Schlotterbeck.
Yeah, if somebody's I wouldn't be able to. If I sold Davis, I wouldn't even be able to get a Schlotter in season. So that doesn't. Right. What is like Nuno Mendes? What is his in season card? I bet it's relatively similar. Ramos Mingo. Go on, the boy. I was going to say, is he here? Jackson Reagan. Wow, all my boys.
Your boys. He must be higher now, score-wise.
Yeah, his scores have been pretty good recently anyway. El Carouni. He made me get relegated this weekend. I'm not speaking to El Carouni this weekend.
Oh, no.
We're on, non-speaking terms.
It's funny, Davies is a similar player to Davis. Oh, Ooh,
Wow, here we go. Now we're into the thick
now
of
we're
it.
talking.
Yeah.
I have an Alan Montez in season rare. Didn't use it this week because I had nowhere to play it. Oh, maybe I used it. I don't know. It's a lot of players. And this isn't
A
even.
lot.
This is all in the same age grade range with Leaf
Okay.
Davis too. Take it off and it goes even further.
Jesus.
I mean, it's by L15. 56 L15 is not that high.
No, yes. I'm sure there's many. Well, there is loads of players with that.
Yeah.
That L15, but it's interesting though, because not many scores translate from the champ to prem. You know, you very rarely see that many players score well in both. You know, and
Yeah.
not we haven't seen enough of him yet, but like he's scoring pretty well considering he's made the jump up. But he was absurd in the champ, so like he was like 18 assists or something nuts. 19.
Yeah.
It's a lot of games.
It is. Yeah.
It's a lot of games.
Which was part of the draw.
Right. Yeah, yeah. But he didn't have a card at that point, so
Right.
yeah. Peter says him being on set. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
This is what people are waking up, Laird. They're waking up.
I almost don't want to talk about it anymore.
Because yeah, you've probably revealed too much.
Probably. Hopefully gets a chance for England. Wow. I mean, next two is not great. Away to Spurs and home against United.
And two. Yeah. Amarim's United as well. Would that be maybe? Potentially?
I think so. I think they said right after the international break.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
After that is pretty tasty.
Not terrible, yeah.
I'm like sitting here thinking, like, do they have anyone else? But like, I don't think I'd want anybody else.
Not really. Morsi scored really well this weekend.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
But still.
I don't think that happens that often. I could be wrong. Well, L5 of 56. Okay. Yeah. It's just probably a luck box assist for a CDM type of situ. I don't know. I didn't see the goal, but
I was definitely not tuning in to Ipswich Leicester.
No, I can't say I was either. Well, he scored against Southampton. Okay.
20 against Everton in a loss.
It
is quite inconsistent, though.
Yeah, you can't buy into a card like that, really, can you? Yeah. If we're being honest, like, especially in the Prem, like the standard of mids in the Prem does feel quite tough to. I mean, he's had his scores, hasn't he? Or a score, maybe. I'm sure he had one good one. I could be wrong.
He was supposed to have against Liverpool when we talked about him, and then he got benched or hurt.
Was it Liverpool? Yeah.
Was it Liverpool? Was it this Man City one? Oh no, was it this one? Yeah.
Yeah. And
he didn't play.
That was it. Yeah, he's not being. Well, yeah, he's not being great, is he? They're not going to keep many clean sheets, so as obviously, say the obvious, but like, they're just conceding too many goals and can't get away with good scores in the Premier if you're conceding goals.
Sure.
It's not possible. So
Dana said home against United is the dream fixture. I'm not sure it's going to be the dream anymore.
Maybe not anymore. Not anymore.
I mean, who knows, but
right.
I wouldn't say it's dream fixture.
It's not dream, no.
Palace home, that's a dream fixture.
Yeah. Bournemouth, no, probably not great. Prem's just so tough. I know it's a different conversation, but I just don't like the Prem from like a Sorare perspective. I know you've never been a big advocate either, but it just doesn't really interest me. Like guessing who's going to win between like Palace and Ipswich. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just tough. Like, I just don't think there's enough of an edge to be had in most places,
Mm-hmm. I was looking at how low the opponent scores are for Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Like opposing teams don't score many points against them. I don't think we have it. So like Ederson, 61. That's actually really good for a non-clean sheet.
Yeah.
2 Smothers. Why not? Let's see. What did Emmy do? 48. Raya 5.8. That was a disaster game for.
Wow.
That was a Saliba red. Let's see. Leicester. Herman's. It all looks great. I don't know why that's so. Maybe it's just early season. It's basically like they must not put many shots on goal for saves.
Right.
Bournemouth, that is. Yeah. It's ugly. Yeah, I appreciate a lot of people love the Prem. I'm happy to just stay out of it.
Yeah. Zagreb 1-1 led, if you can.
I didn't get a notification, so I assume Batterino was nowhere to be seen.
He wasn't, but he is on 7AA, so let's just respect it.
I don't even know where I played mine. Surely nowhere good. Let's see. All-Star Limited with 3 rare cards.
The disrespect.
You know how stupid this lineup is.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Libertadores is out today.
No, that's a league game.
No, I just mean like the lack of places.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was told by somebody that I needed to diversify my gallery so that I would have more cards to play in this game week. And I was saying I have too many cards, and then I was told I was too diverse and that I shouldn't have that many cards.
Can't win with some people, Led.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but whatever. Is there anything else that we look at? Like, there's not really a ton. It's just like there's so many players and things to look through that you can spend all day doing that.
Yeah, you can get swamped, but I like just staying in my own sort of lane and doing those things that I said with like the forward stuff. And there's obviously tactics, I guess, with the defender and midfielders, but it's just a bit tougher to do. Obviously, you're still looking for players who have big AA scores, I guess. And the cause of that, like you said, it comes into set pieces and have they got to change a role or whatever. But yeah, I don't think you can spend too much time looking back. I think it is, this game is geared towards looking forward a lot of the time. And we do use the past stats to do that, but yeah, there's only so much rabbit hunting you should do, I think, because it can turn nasty, I think.
That's why I pretty much just focus on set pieces. Like I don't think that there is a more helpful stat of helping me think of like guys that I want in the future. We have guys like, oh, he's winning a ton of duels lately. And it's like, that could be just opponent based. Like, I feel like set pieces, and not to say that they get a lot of set pieces in each game, but if they're taking them, that's important to me.
It's a sustainable stat. Like, there's not many more sustainable. The only issue is they lose them.
Right.
You can't like factor that in. You kind of can if there's a player that used to take sets, and like the Wabi Kazri, we know he's probably not going to take sets again as much as he did because Teji's just going to come back in.
Yeah.
So it's like you do have to be quite careful with some of those situations. But if there's sustainable sets to be had, you can kind of forecast. Okay, well, they're home again next week. They're probably going to have eight chances. Is he on all 8? Those things you can kind of foresee. Where there's a lot of things like you said, duels and interceptions and like those sort of stats not necessarily aren't replicable because like Vinny Souza did it for a while. Like there's players that just do those things. That's kind of how it works. But like, yeah, I think the set piece one is the route to like big score. It is so obvious, but like capable. Like that because an assist can come from it. Or a goal can come from a free kick. Like they're like instant big things in this game count towards massive scores that can happen through and derive from them.
Right.
Sorry.
Like a set piece is more likely to end up being an assist or a goal than a tackle is to be on as the last man.
Yeah. Or like the triple. Yeah. But like, you're right. If you want to compare DA to DA, yeah, 100%. Especially for a midfielder. They're not the last man like that often. So like, they aren't going to be in that position. I think the one, like, I think Mikey Basta mentioned it years ago. Not years ago. He mentioned it. He said he used to do it years ago with like playing players that are on the goal line for corners. That is, like if that's his role as the right back. Carvajal's on the front post every game for a corner when he plays. Like, not that you can expect the clearance off the line all the time, but like you just know if that ball is in that vicinity from a header or free, whatever, he is there to clear it. So like you can't, like, I'm not going to play him because of that, but it is a nice to have, if that makes sense. Where the set piece thing's like a different story, if we're talking like hierarchies of like what players are capable of scoring wise.
Rikamon here said Geiker has scored a free kick in a cup game.
I saw it. It was a smash. Like, he just completely rocketed it in the corner. Yeah.
Like, surely he plays for Manchester United by January, right?
I mean,
is there any reason for them to wait?
Well, they've got like 1,000 number 9. Well, they'd have to get rid of Xerxes or what's his name, Hoyland, right? Like, you can't have all three of them just there. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to go there, to be honest. Surely he has better options than that. Yeah, it talks, of course, but like, if, well, not City, but if like,
I'm not sure they can afford 100 million. I mean,
who can though?
He's more really, than, right?
I mean, probably. I don't know what his release clause is. I'm going to assume it's around that, but who else gets him really? Is it just Prem?
€100 release clause. Okay.
I can't envision. Well, yeah, Arsenal. Arsenal would probably, as a project, I'd be going to Arsenal.
Sure.
But yeah, do they offer as much Wonga as United? I don't know. Send him back to Cov. Yeah, I agree with Daniel Cooper. I remember Nashi had Guy Perez at Coventry. Like, I remember him being in Nashi's gallery, and I just never even batted an eyelid. I was just like he used to score goals and stuff, but like he was good. Like, he was very good. But that was one of those situations where I remember just being lazy about him. I was like, well, because I play under 23, I don't care about him. I know that sounds naive maybe, but yeah. Like, he was good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to the point where like I definitely had him on my radar, but because I don't think he was under 23, like, he might have just come out of it. I was a bit like, well, I don't need to worry about this guy. Like, that was my thought process for years.
And now he's the best player on Sorare.
Yeah. Well, him or Marmouche.
True.
They're both up there for forwards anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Daniel. Coventry weren't that good of a side, so like, yeah, why would you play him, type of thing?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. It's funny that we end a show like that. We're like, oh yeah, you go get this guy. He's the best player in that.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Yeah. Actually, just after we admitted that when he was at Coventry, we were like,
yeah, who cares?
Whatever. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. I didn't put the poll in the live chat today. I'm going to see if that affects the likes. We'll see. Everybody has a chance to make up for it now. But anyway, thank you everybody for coming. I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. And I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. So there's that. It was originally going to be Gator Guy. He moved to Monday. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, so everyone, good luck with all your midweek lineups. Good luck with the rewards that are coming out shortly. Hopefully, if you're watching this or listening back, that you got some great ones. And don't forget to get those steps in.